Hey there guys, Primus Reviews here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Transformers Bumblebee movie Studio Series 70 B-127. Now, I did tease this figure back in my last video, and if you haven't checked out my last video, please make sure to check it out, leave a like, and subscribe if you're new, and make sure to turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss a single upload that I do. Now, this figure was already in the making when Cliff Jumper was announced, as in they both had the same remake and same remold to basically their structure, but all in all I believe they did a better job in this figure than the Cliff Jumper. But I am happy to say that I am actually pretty satisfied with this figure. I actually really like this figure, as in the movie I do like the Cybertronian form of Bumblebee, as in I think it was super cool. The little scenes we had of his Cybertronian form I believe were truly amazing, and I think they did a great job just capturing the Bumblebee in Cybertron, and it just looked truly amazing. The Cybertronian scene in the beginning has to be one of the best openings I have ever seen in a Transformers movie. I mean, what more do you want? You have the Cybertron and the Autobots and the Decepticons fighting, and I believe it's just truly an amazing scene to a great movie. Now, taking a look at the packaging, you do got that good Transformers Bumblebee. A nice image of Bumblebee there, Studio Series 70 B-127, and on the side you do got that nice image of Bumblebee, again Autobot logo there. On the back you do get the figure and his alternate mode only in 20 steps, which I believe is super simple, and on the side you do get a nice image of that Bumblebee mask. But all in all, great box. Now let's take a look at this figure. Now, taking a closer look at this figure, you can automatically see the yellow just pops on this figure, and I believe they did a great job. As on the top you do get that nice Autobot logo there. I like the mask. The mask to me looks really cool. Just a really cool looking mask. I like these details here. It just truly looked beautiful. You know, people don't really like the legs. I kind of like the legs. I think that they did a great job trying to make it not look like car parts, and I think they did a pretty good job. But yeah, let's take a look at that now. But yeah, all in all, I believe they did a great job, honestly. And honestly, I do like the silver they got here. I do like the silver mixed with the gray and black plastic, as it actually looks really cool. But yeah, man, I honestly did enjoy myself liking this figure more than I thought I would. And I'm a little shocked that I actually liked this figure, because when the promotional arts came out for this figure, I really didn't like it. I didn't like the back. I don't know, just something about this felt off. But in hand, it is actually a really great figure. Now, this figure did come with one accessory, so let's take a look at that accessory now. Now, taking a look at his first and only accessory, here we have his gun. Now take a look at this thing. It looks truly cool. I like the silver they went here. I do like the little gray here plastic. But yeah, up close, just take a look at that detail. I believe they did a great job, and you have to give them props. It does look truly cool. And yeah, it is a small gun, but all in all, I believe it looks truly cool. Alright, so let's put him on and see how cool he actually looks with it. Now, to put on his gun, all you're gonna do is simply grab any hand you like. His hand is already a circle piece right there, so all you're gonna do is bring in the gun, and there's gonna be a peg right here, and all you're simply gonna do is just plug it into the hole, just like so, and boom, there you go. There you have him holding his really cool looking gun. Yep, truly an amazing looking accessory. And honestly, I'm just really shocked at how I actually really like this figure. Like, I actually like this figure. And it's not to say, oh, I didn't like this figure from the beginning. I just really was disappointed by the Cliff Jumper figure. But this one actually, like, I really enjoy, and it's a shock to me because they're both technically the same mold. I don't know, I just like this figure. Now standing at about roughly 4 inches tall, maybe a little more, 4.5 inches tall. I believe he is a really, really small figure. But he's a deluxe class, and I have to give it a pass. This is a deluxe class. He's small. He's supposed to be small. Deluxe classes are supposed to be small, but overall, I believe he is a great size. And now for some size comparisons. Here he is next to my last review, the Studio Series Sideswipe Revenge of the Fallen. And as you can see, they both are really, really small figures, but Sideswipe does take advantage in height. But yeah, if you haven't checked out that review, please make sure to check out that review and leave a like. But yeah, all in all, I believe these two do look great together. Now, for of course, my second size comparison, I had to do it. Here is the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. Now, I believe that this is... these two truly look amazing with each other, and this was meant to be. Oh my gosh, they did such a phenomenal job on scale, accuracy wise, and just all in all, just making it work. And in hand, it looks so much better, but on camera it still looks so good. But I have to give them props. I have to give them props when props is due. Studio Series has done an amazing job at making these two look great. Great job, Studio Series. Great job. Now, for my last size comparison, here he is next to the Studio Series Transformers Bumblebee movie Soundwave. Now, it looks so good. I just cannot thank Studio Series enough for making this happen. When the Transformers Bumblebee movie came out, we immediately wanted an Optimus Prime. We wanted a Soundwave. We wanted a Bumblebee. We just wanted these figures because they look so cool. And to see them in hand, they truly did a great job. They both look so screen accurate, and I'm at a loss for words. Like, they did an extraordinary, is that a word? Yeah, extraordinary job. And oh man, I'm speechless. I'm sorry. Now, just because I'm gonna do a cool thing for you guys, I am gonna bring in all 3 of these figures so that way you can just see the scale accurate wise. And yeah, it just truly looks beautiful at what they did here and what they achieved. They did such an amazing job. All these 3 figures look so great together, and posing all of them was truly fun. And I just had so much fun posing all these guys and doing all different kinds of things with them. And at the end of the day, I have all 3 of them. I have to give Studio Series some respect, as they blew it out of the park. I am just so happy that no one here feels left out, and they just did such a phenomenal job at the end of the day. Now for some articulation, his head is on a ball joint. He can look up that far and he can look down that far. He can do a full 360 with his head. His arm can move out, shoulder swivel, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow. Sadly, he doesn't have a wrist swivel, but it's okay because he does have. His leg can move out that far. It can move back that far, but it can't move out further because of... Now you do get a thigh swivel, bend at the knee, and you do get a toe bend up and down, which is pretty cool. But the coolest part is he does have a pivot, which is super freaking cool on a deluxe. Okay, like I said, I had a fun time posing this guy, and that's what really surprises me about this figure. Now, of course, like every figure, it has its cons. and we're gonna talk about that at the end of the video, so that way I can get through the whole review, so that way at the end you can hear some of the bad things about this figure. But all in all, great job. Now here is where I am gonna cut it and show you his Cybertronian mode, which I believe they did a great job. It is the same as the previous figure before this one, which was the cliff jumper, but all in all, the yellow just pops and I just love it. So here is the Cybertronian mode. Wow. Wow. This is an amazing looking alternate mode, Cybertronian mode. The Studio Series has outdone themselves once again, and I like this figure. I don't know, it's just something about it just makes me like it just a lot. But yeah, just taking a closer look at the details here, you can just see that this is the same as the cliff jumper, but all in all, I believe they did an amazing job. Just, I think they chose the right color, the right yellow. Not too bright, not too dark, just a really cool looking Cybertronian mode. And yeah, it's holdable, which is not super small, but it's holdable, and you can see that transparent plastic here. But yeah, all in all, I love this figure. I really do like this figure. Yeah, you can see the little detail there, and in the back you got a little bit more detail. But yeah, I like this figure. A cool little thing is that of course some alternate modes, they don't have good wheels or they can't roll, but for this one he actually rolls really well. And yeah, I mean, it's like a playable car. Like, you could spin it, do whatever, just whatever. But all in all, I am really in love with this figure. I do like the little yellows that they did, so that when you roll it, it looks pretty cool. But yeah, all in all, just an amazing looking Cybertronian mode. And might I add, just screen accurate as well, even though it was like for like 2 seconds or whatever, but it good enough for me. Now this figure did decrease in size, which is now about 1.5 inches tall. So yeah, I mean, it compresses, you know, I'm not upset about it or anything. As of the gun, I have no idea where to store it. I guess just nope, it's just not storable anywhere, but it's okay. It is what it is. But all in all, great looking Cybertronian mode. Now for some size comparisons, here he is next to the Optimus Prime, and yeah, of course Optimus Prime is gonna tower him, of course, in his Cybertronian mode. But if you haven't checked out that review, please make sure to check it out. And yeah, I'm just super stoked of how good these two look, just completely amazing. Here is the Studio Series Soundwave. If you haven't checked out that review, please make sure to check out that review to see his transformation, as well as his transformation. It's okay, but yeah, all in all, just great. It just looks beautiful. And here is my last review, the Studio Series Sideswipe. And if you haven't checked out that review, please make sure to check out that review to see his transformation as well. But yeah, all in all, great. I can say this is great. It just great. But yeah, here's one last look at the Cybertronian mode, so that way I can transform him back. That way I can do my full review, as in my overall review of this figure, and give my letter grade, and we can talk about the pros and the cons of this figure. But yeah, just one last look at this Cybertronian mode. I mean, they chose the right yellow. They really did choose the right yellow, and I have to give Studio Series props to what they did, because it does truly look beautiful. So let me transform him so that way I can give you my overall review of this figure. Alright guys, there you go. There you have the Studio Series 70 Transformers Bumblebee movie B-127. Now overall, I believe this figure is actually a surprise to me, as I wasn't really looking forward to it, but when I got it and I started messing around with him, he actually felt really really great, and I loved transforming him. I loved posing this guy, as in he is truly an underrated figure, and I know he is the remake of the Cliff Jumper, but I just had more fun with this figure because I really had low expectations. As for the Cliff Jumper, I did have high expectations, but overall I believe they did such an amazing job with this figure. And for my overall grade, I do have to give it a solid 8 out of 10. The only things that are bringing it down is that is a backpack if I have ever seen one. It just doesn't look great. It honestly doesn't look great. And from the front, he looks alright, but the slightest turn, yeah. I kind of wish there was a way. I know it's hard, but I wish there was a way. But all in all, it is what it is. Also, don't be surprised if these tabs don't plug in, because they just don't stick. It's just like the Cliff Jumpers, it doesn't stick. But overall, other than that, just overall, I love the color scheme. I do love the paint, the color yellow they chose, because it's not too bright, not too dark, and I believe they did an amazing job with this figure all in all. But yeah, I actually was really surprised with this figure, and I am happy they made it, and I'm happy it is in my collection. Now, if you do want to get your hands on B-127, I suggest you head over to Big Bad Toy Store, as he is in stock and ready to ship whenever you want him. So go ahead and click that link, and hopefully you guys will be able to get this guy. He also is in stock in TF stores as well, in case you do want him, and he's ready to go from there as well. Sadly, Shozy Store does not sell this figure, but they do sell other Transformer Bumblebee movie accurate figures if you do want those. But if you just want Transformers Bumblebee B-127, this figure I have right here, check out Big Bad Toy Store and TF stores, as they are ready to go. Now, I know there is a repaint of this figure, but yeah, it looks pretty good, but I'm gonna stick with this one, even though in the movie he doesn't have his Cybertronian mask on while in Cybertron. But all in all, I'm gonna keep this guy, and we'll just go from there. I'm just gonna keep this guy. But yeah, all in all, great figure, great posability. I mean, what more do you want from a deluxe? But that's gonna do it all for me here, you guys. So this has been Primus Reviews, and make sure to stay calm and keep moving on. So I'll make sure to see you guys on the next one. Alright, let's see how tall he is. Okay. About 4 inches tall? 4 inches? I think that's a decent size, or decent height. Right, ladies?